Happy Monday, here we go. Jeff and I will talk about our weekends and our favorite sunset spots. Then we'll check in with the Rhinelander Area Chamber of Commerce, see what's going on with that. We're going to also talk about some wild rice. But first, here's your top 4 at 4. We start with a woman living with breast cancer, but swimming through it. Mary Goose of Oregon, Wisconsin, lives with metastatic breast cancer, and she raises money and awareness by swimming in lakes all across the country. She plans to swim across Fifth Lake, just east of Rhinelander, on Saturday. It will be the 50th body of water Mary has swum across. Learn more about Mary and metastatic breast cancer on onewomanmanylakes.org. Big Stone Golf Course near Three Lakes will host a benefit this Friday for a blood cancer patient living in Conover. It's called the Friends of Patty Marquis Golf Benefit. Marquis is the pro at Big Stone Golf Course. There will be free brats and beer for the public, even for those who don't play golf. It's from 8 to 5 this Friday. UW-Madison has been selected as one of the first clinical sites in the U.S. to test a new COVID-19 vaccine. AstraZeneca developed an investigational vaccine. Now it's time for the long process of clinical trials. The study is recruiting participants and is hoping to get 1,600 people. But before you get too excited, the study will last approximately 2 years to fully monitor health effects. The turf has been set for the new Hodag Dome complex. Here are some pictures from the school district of Rhinelander. Lines and numbers have been applied to the turf at the dome. Can't wait for that finished product. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Weller joins us now. Jeff, happy Monday.
Hey Dan, happy Monday. Well, tomorrow is September 1st. The squirrels are starting to hide their nuts and temperatures are beginning to drop out there, as you know. Look at the average high temperatures. Tomorrow is 73 in Rhinelander, but by the end of the month, the average high temperature is 60. And of course, we just go downhill from there. So lots of change happening throughout the month of September. Out there today, though, we had to get through this first. Lots of rain showers out there earlier, but now the skies have cleared. The sun has come back out, and we are in for lots of sunshine through the afternoon, and then some pretty cool temperatures out there tonight. Out there right now, though, it's 64 in Rhinelander. The rain shower has ended with a northwest breeze at 12 and a dew point there at 49. Over in Wausau, 68 for you, a northwest breeze at 12, and a feel like temperature also of 68 because the dew point is pretty close to the temperature out there now. And around the horn, we're getting a couple 70s starting to kind of poke up here over in Marshfield, Wisconsin Rapids, Rome. A few of us could hit that again later on this afternoon before the sun sets. All right, so here we go. The trend going forward, we're going to hang out below average pretty much, right? The average high now being 74, 72 tomorrow and lots of sunshine, 75 Wednesday, we'll take it, and then kind of back down again Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So all in all, up and down, but a very kind of fall-like temperature trend here. And here's where the rain fell earlier today. The light green area here is kind of a 1/4 inch of rain, but the little green spots in there you can see, that's a 1/2 inch or more. Here at the station, 0.44 of an inch, so a healthy rainfall. The gardens for sure like that, but here is the back edge of the clouds right there, pushing to the east about 35 miles per hour. We have nothing but sunshine for a couple hours and a beautiful sunset tonight, followed by lots of sunshine tomorrow. Our next system, though, will get in here most likely on Wednesday into Thursday and bring us a couple of rain showers then. Until then, though, we're in good shape with lots of sunshine tomorrow. All right, looking ahead for tonight, though, we're looking at mostly clear skies and a bit cool. We'll have low temperatures down near 44. Your full forecast at 5 o'clock.
They may not have the capes, but they sure do have the powers.
And I'm going to prove it.
From business savvy
This babe can't be bought.
Look out, Oprah Winfrey. Here comes Sandra Clark.
to street smarts
You just had a smart idea.
Not to be a lady tonight.
to eternal beauty.
I don't look a day over 41.
What can I say?
They have the power to do it all. Watch the Wonder Women of Antenna TV.
To fix the economy, we have to get control over the virus. I'm releasing a plan to save lives in the months ahead. We need increased federal support for testing, doubling the number of drive-through testing sites. We absolutely need a clear message from the very top of our federal government that everyone needs to wear a mask in public. Every single frontline worker should have the personal protective equipment that they need to be safe. We need to support schools and child care programs so parents, if and when they can return to work, are confident that their children will be safe and cared for. And finally, we need to protect the populations most at risk, our seniors, vulnerable populations with pre-existing conditions. We need real plans, real guidelines with uniform nationwide standards. It's a simple proposition, folks. We're all in this together. We got to fight this together. We'll emerge from this stronger because we did it together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Everyone sleeps at Tomahawk Furniture and Gun with prices so low you'll have to bend over to see them. Prices that'll make your eyes pop out. Want to sleep watching TV? Check out our recliners. You want to pass out face first in a sofa? Check out our sofas. And beds. We've got beds. Check us out. Prices so low you'll think we're crazy. Because everyone sleeps at Tomahawk Furniture and Gun.
Welcome to Up North at 4. It's time for our weekend in review. Jeff, how's the weekend?
Worked yesterday.
Okay.
I'll be doing 6-day work weeks for a while now.
That's right.
But then Saturday was a project day for me. Went down to the lake house. You know that big windstorm we had a year ago?
Is this a picture of your lake
Yeah,
house?
so there's that, see that tree that fell in the lake? This
Yeah.
happened a year ago. We left it because we thought the fish were gonna like it, right?
Okay.
Well, then finally we got sick of looking at it, so we're like, let's take it out. Thinking it was gonna be like a 2-hour project.
Sure.
Like 6 hours later, we're still
geez.
cutting up this log, right? So it's a huge cottonwood tree. It took us all day. You know how heavy waterlogged wood is. And yeah, it just took us
I have a
forever.
lot of questions. First off, I thought that was an alligator, if we can show up the picture.
An alligator?
I swore it was
Come
an
back to the
alligator.
picture if you
And
can't
also, how do you chainsaw it in the water?
So we got the pontoon boat, right? And
Okay.
had a chainsaw on the pontoon boat. And then the logs floated, and then we pulled them to shore and cut them up in smaller pieces. But underwater, there's a whole tree. So like it fell and it lodged
see.
itself like into the muck. So
Okay.
trying to pull it out, like we're in the water trying to pull this out.
Okay.
It just became a project. It became this project that lasted all day. You know, after we're done, a few beers later, it was over. But you know,
chainsawing and beers, Jeff. That's a great
but
combination.
Cody and my friend Matt came over, and we kind of did this all day. And
Okay.
a special thank you to Cody and Matt for helping us with that. So
Very
thank you.
cool. Well, I actually was at some water as well this weekend. I was at Kavak. It's the Cedric A. Vig outdoor classroom, I believe it's called. We should have a picture of
Done
that.
many school talks there. Yes.
Yeah, and it's a really cool place. I've never been there before. This is a picture of one of the docks. I forgot on which lake. But really a neat place. I was the only one there,
But
so
there's no wind. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
no, it was awesome. And I also, so last night I saw sunset at the Rhinelander Oneida County Airport. We should have a picture of that as well. And I think that's my favorite place in Rhinelander to see a sunset.
So were you on the Hanson Lake Trail there, or where were you?
Yeah, it's on the road toward the Hanson Lake Trail.
Okay. Yeah,
so
the boat landing back
this
there.
kind of
Yeah.
inspired me. You know, where's your favorite place to have a sunset?
The lake house.
Okay.
Yeah, I go down there. 'cause
Okay,
the
what
sun-
about in Rhinelander or Northwoods or?
Let's see. We're Lake George is usually where I go
Okay,
to
Lake
kind of hang out
George.
by the lake, and they have beautiful sunsets there. But that was a beautiful picture.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's my favorite spot in Rhinelander to take a sunset shot. So if you could see that one more time, if you have a really cool sunset spot, definitely send it to me because I want to kind of make a list of all the great places that would be a good sunspot. Because there's not usually like you go to a peak somewhere, but there's not
Right.
any.
And I often
peaks.
say, you know, I've lived in 18 cities, right? And, you know, by far, the Northwoods has the best sunsets.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. I mean, cool places too,
Yeah.
like, you know, Sedona, Arizona. They're better here. They're better here.
Have you seen the Aurora Borealis?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I really want to see that someday.
Well, it's fleeting. It's few and far between. So I'll let you know when it's about to happen.
I think we
next
could
time.
do a segment on that. Maybe they'll pay me to go up
shoot
there
you
or
up into
something.
space?
I'll try to convince my news
Send
director.
Dan to the space station.
All right. So after this, actually before that, we're going to talk about wild rice. It's also called manumin in the Ojibwe language. We're going to get to that in a bit, but we will welcome first a biologist from the Great Lakes Indian Fish and Wildlife Commission. But before that, we're going to talk with area Rhinelander Chamber Director Lauren Sackett. We'll see you then. Welcome to Up North at 4. I'm with Lauren Sackett from the Rhinelander Area Chamber of Commerce. Lauren, how are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, we have a couple topics we want to touch on. Let's start with the ending of the Buy Local campaign. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, so we did our 8-week Buy Local campaign throughout the summer. It wrapped up a few weeks ago, but we just wanted to remind everybody that buying local, especially in times like these, is very important. We did see an increase in our county for sales tax revenue, which is nice, but let's continue it through the year, through the holiday season. We'll be sharing some Buy Local messaging coming out around the holidays as well.
There's some new artwork going up. I believe it's in downtown Rhinelander, a new mural. Tell me about that. What's the deal with this new mural?
Yeah, so we're helping AirPro Fan and Blower Company share the great news that they will be unveiling a mural here in Rhinelander. They have been working since December of 2019 on this project, and they are getting ready to do the unveiling of a mural on their building, which is on the intersection of Davenport and Sutliff Street, kind of over here near the chamber. That is an ode to why industry is important to Rhinelander's history. So it's certainly an industrial focus, which is perfect for the AirPro family over there. And it's going to be beautiful. The public is invited to the unveiling event on Thursday the 3rd at 2 p.m. You can come and check it out. It might not be 100% complete because it's raining today, so they might not have been able to get it started on time, but they'll be unveiling it and you'll get the general idea of what it's for, and they'll have some historical speakers, a speaker from AirPro, and it'll be really nice for the community, a brand new mural. I think it's going to be beautiful.
Thursday, 2 p.m. Sounds exciting. Anything else you want to say, Lauren?
We also wanted to share that we are working on our 2021 area guide, and we are looking for area photos. We posted it to our Facebook page a couple weeks ago, lots of different categories, and if you want to share your photos with us, they could be put in the area guide. Every photo entry, you're entered in to win a chance at a $50 Chamber Buck check, and we'd love to have all of your favorite photos about why Rhinelander is a great place to live and visit. So if you can help us out, you can email your photos to assistant@rhinelanderchamber.com.
Very cool. I will hopefully send some photos if I can find some good shots. Lauren, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, thank you.
Minwax makes it so easy to make wood beautiful. Once you get started, you won't want to stop. Keep on finishing with Minwax, America's #1 selling interior stain.
Hello, Northwoods neighbors. Here at Newswatch 12, we pride ourselves on covering the news and weather from where you live. As we all go through the challenges of COVID-19, we want to thank healthcare professionals and other essential workers in our community. If you know someone who's going above and beyond to serve others, be sure to find a way to express your appreciation. Remember, we're all in this together.
Bruce Orthodontics, changing lives one smile at a time. Rhinelander, Minocqua, Eagle River, Phillips, and the greater Northwoods area. Treating patients of all ages.
Need new windows? Know that Exquisite Windows and Doors in Shawano sells the highest quality windows for less. Call now or visit highestqualitywindows.com to get a free estimate. Know there's a huge difference between vinyl windows versus our made-for-Wisconsin weather-resistant windows. Our windows will bring out the beauty of your home and come with a lifetime warranty. It's our 2020 sale. Save 20% on labor and all products. Call Exquisite Windows and Doors now or visit highestqualitywindows.com.
The Community Blood Center is teaming up with WJFW for a blood drive September 10th at the Quality Inn in Rhinelander. Schedule your life-saving donation today.
Looking to get away? Really get away? The perfect getaway is Cozy TV. Get away from it all, anytime with Cozy TV.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Kitchen Bath Mart.
Welcome back to Up North at 4. We're having a conversation today on wild rice for the Lac du Flambeau Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa. First up, the importance of wild rice. So joining us right now is Peter David from the Great Lakes Indian Fish and Wildlife Commission. Thank you for joining us, Peter.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Of course. Let's talk about that cultural significance. Why is wild rice so important to the Ojibwe people?
You know, I've been working for the tribes for over 3 decades, and I cannot overstate how important Mahnomen is culturally to the Ojibwe. It's a really central part of identity, really, for Ojibwe members. And some of that can be traced back to the tribe's migration story. When the Ojibwe were living actually along the eastern seaboard and followed certain prophecies indicating that they were to move west until they came to the place where the food grew on the water. And so that long migration really didn't have a known endpoint. It didn't know how long it was going to take, but it was fulfilled when they reached this western Lake Superior region and really the wild rice bowl of North America. And so you can imagine that the cultural significance right there. There's also this whole nutritional value to it. It's the highest overall nutrition value food that was available in the native diet. So it was an incredibly important food, as well as having this cultural significance. And so it's really central to Ojibwe identity.
Yeah, Mahnomen is high in fiber and also high in protein. It's also going through a lot right now. Technically, it's a seed. It grows in shallow waters. And the climate has changed a bit to where its natural habitat is changing. Can you tell us about that, Peter?
Sure. We're really concerned about the impacts of climate change on wild rice. You know, this is a plant that is adapted to north harsh conditions. You know, we need hard winters, for example, to help the seed break germination. And almost every prediction we see associated with climate change has a negative impact for wild rice. And we're seeing this, I think, really unfolding on the landscape in a real way today. Some things are quite evident, obvious on the surface, and other things I think are more subtle or might take more time to really verify.
Yeah, I think most people think of climate change as it gets hotter or colder, right? But in this case, we're talking about species of other plants that may take over the space that's currently occupied by the rice, correct?
Yeah, that's one part of it, is that as the environment warms, other plants that are more adapted to those warm growing conditions become more competitive with wild rice. And so that's certainly an issue. Sort of related to that is the fact of invasive species, and that the harsh conditions in the Northland can keep some of those at bay. And the more mild the climate becomes, the more competition exists with these invasives. But there's a whole host of other issues. Heavy rainfall events. Rice is particularly sensitive to water levels and changes in water levels. And so as lakes rise, perhaps, or from very heavy storm events, we can have a multitude of impacts from dikes and dams literally blowing out, and we've seen the loss of rice beds that way, to rice being pulled out in massive amounts, especially when it's in the floating leaf stage. That even doesn't cover it all, because there's things like changes in humidity that we expect to see, and that appears to be leading to greater frequency of fungal disease outbreaks in wild rice. So there's really a whole host of things, and we know rice is much less abundant than it was historically, but I don't think rice has ever faced as big a threat in its past as it's going to face in climate change going forward.
Well, it seems like wild rice is really being affected by climate change in some ways that I wouldn't have expected. So thanks so much, Peter, for joining us. But stay with us. We're going to go take a quick break. And after the break, let's talk about what is being done to help these wild rice beds combat climate change and stay resilient. So that'll be right after a few messages.
When unexpected home projects come along, use the Home Advisor app and instantly book an appointment online with a top-rated pro. Be prepared for whatever home projects come your way. Download the free Home Advisor app today.
Hi, I'm Andy from 2020 Vision. When I want the forecast for Schofield, I go to WJFW.com and check my hometown weather.
Your hometown weather, available 24/7 at WJFW.com.
My name is Sheldon. I'm from Wausau. I went to the doctor and I was diagnosed with a deteriorating spine. And finally, I couldn't hardly function no more. So I'm sitting and watching TV, and I see Dr. Justin Sherrick come on there. I got right in the car and drove right down to his office. I started treatment that very same day, and that brings us here today. I'm totally pain-free. Can't thank the doctor enough.
Are you suffering with back or neck pain and considering the possibility of surgery? At the Spinal Aid Center of Wausau, we incorporate the latest technologies, including high-intensity laser therapy that provides the highest success rates in helping people just like you avoid back and neck surgery. With our treatments, there are no drugs and no surgery, just relief. Call today for a free spinal disc severity consultation and see if our treatments are right for you. Call 715-203-4392 or visit us at spinalaid.com. Start living your life pain-free.
ELM Repair in Edgar is a family-owned and operated full-service diesel repair shop. From pickups to semi-trucks to heavy equipment and RV service. If it runs on diesel, we can repair it. Want more power and better mileage? Our experienced professionals will get your truck running and at peak performance. With a state-of-the-art dyno and fully stocked parts department, we can even come out to you with our 24-hour mobile repair service. ELM is always looking for passionate and talented people to join our team. The Diesel Doctor have it done right the first time at ELM Repair.
Welcome back to Up North at 4. We are still with Peter David. He's a biologist with Glyphwick, and he's going to continue to talk to us about wild rice. And as I mentioned before the break, let's talk about what's being done in terms of protecting wild rice from climate change.
So it's really challenging, actually, to protect Mahnomen from the impacts of climate change. There are some things that can be addressed. For example, if one of your losses is dam or dike failures, then there's the potential, at least, of doing infrastructure adjustments. That tends to be really expensive work to do these days. So that has its limitations. Some parts are just really hard to get a handle on. If you're having more disease outbreaks due to humidity, cultivated wild rice paddies will use fungicides to treat that, but that's a lot of questions amongst the Ojibwe if that's the culturally appropriate thing to do in natural stands of wild rice. So in the big scheme of things, there's just a big effort to try to enhance and protect what we have as much as we can in any way that we can, and then hope that some big changes come down the pipe that we really get a handle on the kind of change that's coming and actually have some resistance to it instead of just trying to adapt, because we may not be able to adapt on this landscape.
Yeah, and Peter, harvesting Mahnomen is a process. You know, it actually cooks in less time than does now other kinds of rice bought in the stores. Can you walk us through the harvesting process? I mean, there's poaching, there's dancing, there's winnowing. What are these techniques? Yeah, so this is the time of year right now when rice harvesters are getting out of the rice beds. And the first step really is just to gather the grain. And that's typically done by two people working together in a canoe. One individual propels the canoe, usually using a long push pole rather than paddles, although paddles can be used in some instances. And the second person uses a pair of ricing sticks, typically made of a light wood like cedar, about 3 feet long, to lean those stalks over the side of the canoe and sort of gently wrap across the top and dislodge that seed that's almost ready to fall off the plant of its own accord. And this is often called knocking the rice, but it's really a gentle process. If you have to hit the rice very hard to get the seed to dislodge, it's really not ripe yet, and you should wait a few days and give it time. This is work, certainly, and as you harvest rice, you tend to also plant a lot of rice. And so there are a lot of people who contend that harvesting rice is actually good for it, as it also gets this rice down into the sediment, where in fact it might be more protected from certain things like birds and other things that might be preying on it.
Thank you so much, Peter, for joining us today. You certainly painted a wide picture of how to harvest wild rice and kind of the issues that we're dealing with right now with climate change. So thanks so much, Peter, for joining us and kind of giving us a broad overview.
It was my pleasure. Have a great season.
All right, thanks again, Peter. We'll be right back after a few messages.
They may not have the capes, but they sure do have the powers.
And I'm going to prove it.
From business savvy
This babe can't be bought.
Look out, Oprah Winfrey. Here comes Sandra Club.
to street smarts
You just had a smart idea.
Luckily, a lady tonight.
to eternal beauty,
I don't look a day over 41.
What can I say?
they have the power to do it all. Watch the Wonder Women of Antenna TV.
IHOP has all new breakfast feasts with eggs, bacon, crepes, and more. And we can't wait to welcome everyone back to try them. Except for bears. Yeah, bears can be bad. Come in or get 20% off your first order at IHOP.com.
Yeah, well, look what I did this weekend, huh?
Your weekends brought to you by American Marine and Motorsports in Shawano and Evinrude Motors. We have more boats and pontoons in stock than anywhere else in Wisconsin. Check them out in the largest showroom in the USA. Buy or trade into a new boat and get out on the water today, and we'll give you the best deal, guaranteed by at least $500. Get the most out of your weekends with Evinrude Motors and American Marine and Motorsports Shawano.
This Labor Day weekend, the races are coming to Crandon International Raceway. Catch the world's best on the sport's biggest stage. Go online to reserve your tickets today.
Who doesn't love a good Jeopardy?
All three players off to an excellent start.
This week has something for everyone.
What is Canada, eh? Yeah, eh?
Great games.
Let's make it a true daily double.
Great clues.
Cool beans.
Great questions.
Oh, I know this.
Nothing beats Jeopardy.
Let's get her done.
It's America's favorite quiz show, all this week.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. I've got that feeling.
Weekdays at 4:30, brought to you locally by North Star Mohican Casino Resort.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
NBC News Watch 12. News from where you live.
So here's our favorite dog, Theo, our mascot. This whole break, Jeff, we were trying to get him to come up and see Mr. Squirrel. Mr. Squirrel
well, see, he already took
occupying
the
sofa.
eyes and nose off the cat. And
and the eye off the Mr.
So
Squirrel.
there's still one eye left, though, so I'm pretty sure he would...
Theo, come on.
Hey. He's out. He's sleeping.
I want to make one more plea for the sunsets. So, if you have a cool sunset spot, send us in a picture. There's mine from last night at the Rhinelander United County Airport. And Jeff, what do we have to look forward to this night?
You can do better. We'll have cool temperatures in the 40s tonight, followed by lots of sunshine.
I'd like to see you do better for that. I saw you threw that in. All right, we'll have more for you tomorrow at 4.